Hey guys, welcome to Levi Vincent Ministries. This is day 24 of 40 Days of Favor, and I'm Levi Vincent, and today we're talking about Enoch, walking with God in favor. So, Genesis 5:22. I'm going to read this to you. 22. It's the 22nd of February today. It says, Enoch lived a total of 300, no, that's 23, sorry. 22. After he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Enoch walked with God. We want to walk with God. We want to have the favor on our life that comes from walking with God. It says, altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. I think that's kind of cool, seeing there's 365 days in a year. And you'll notice that's a really small number. It sounds like a large number that he lived 365 years, but if you look up until that time, his parents were living a lot longer, all the way up in the 900s. Now, you'll notice that Enoch's grandson was Methuselah, who lived longer than anyone else. Let's see what it says about Enoch here. Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more because God took him away. Enoch walked faithfully with God, and then he was no more because God took him away. That is so awesome. God took Enoch away. He just transported him straight to the spiritual realm in heaven with him. As far as I know, there's only two people in the Bible that didn't die. It's Enoch and it was Elijah. Elijah was taken away in a chariot of fire. Now that's some awesome favor. But Enoch walked with God. If we look a little bit at Enoch's history here, we go back to Cain and Abel, and we talked about Cain and Abel and the favor that God showed Abel's sacrifice. But Cain killed Abel. But God showed mercy on Cain, spared his life. Cain actually had a son eventually named Enoch, or a grandson, I can't remember. But God gave Eve another son named Seth. And if you look in chapter 4 here, right at the end, this son Seth was a very special son. As you know, she was heartbroken after losing her firstborn child, Cain. She said, God has granted me another child in place of Abel, since Cain killed him. Seth also had a son and named him Enoch. At that time, people began to call on the name of the Lord. That is a really important verse in the Bible. We see where people began to have a relationship with God and to call on his name and to worship him. Today, let's worship Jesus. Let's worship God. So we see now why Enoch walked with God, because his great-grandfather, Enoch, was a worshiper of God. Seth's family were worshipers of God. Let's see what it says here. Let's go back to Enoch, chapter 5. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father. When Enoch lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. After he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. And then God took him away. You know, then there was Methuselah, who lived the longest of anybody, and Methuselah had a son who was Lamech. And Lamech had a son named Noah. He said, he will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has curved. cursed. After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived a total of 777 years. Then he died. I think he died right there before the flood. We know Methuselah died right there before the flood, 969 years. Now I want you guys to notice the blessing that comes from being in the family line of those who call on the name of the Lord. Methuselah was given a long life. We sing a song called "The Lord Bless You and Keep You, Make His Face Shine Upon You." And it says later on in that verse that may his favor be upon you to 1,000 generations. What is that verse? The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you. Numbers 6:24. Let's read the full chapter. Numbers 6:24. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. That's not the one that says to 1,000 generations. Just a quick little search here. Exodus 26, showing love to 1,000 generations to those who love me, but showing love to 1,000 generations to those who love me. So, may his favor be upon you to 1,000 generations, and your children, and your children, and your children. Look at the favor that was in the line of Seth, and the favor that was in the line of Enoch, and the favor that was in the line of Enoch. Enoch walked with God. He lived 365 years and then he was no more. So I just wanted to start off in Genesis and go through and see God's favor. And I love the story of Enoch. It's so encouraging to know that into heaven. Lost a little wireless connection there. Well, guys, Psalm 1, blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, whose leaf does not wither. And catch this, and whatever he does prospers. You are going to prosper when you walk with the Lord. I speak blessings over your family, to your children, to their children, and whatever you do is going to prosper if your delight is in the law of the Lord. If you walk with God like Enoch did, think of the favor that God has on your life. Thank you guys for joining me on 40 Days of Favor. Love you guys. Bye-bye.